Okay, so I'm doing something that makes me super duper nervous. Don't worry, I am not driving right now. I actually just got to the church from getting some lab work, and God spoke to me. Didn't audibly speak to me, but His Spirit spoke to me with something that happened when I was driving through Visalia to get back to the church this morning. There was a gentleman who was in front of me, and he decided that the stoplight that we were sitting at was taking too long. So he squeezes through this narrow section beside us, this very just narrow section. He almost hits me to do this, and I'm thinking, oh, he must be turning right. That's why he's doing this. And he did turn right into the crosswalk, and then proceeded to try to make a U-turn to turn right again to avoid the stoplight. And I was just thinking, oh, wow, that was dangerous. That was dangerous. If there was a car coming or if there was just anything happening, that was dangerous. And then what happened? I ended up following him all the way to the point where I actually had a right turn. And there was a right turn lane. And I ended up passing him because the light turned the moment he went through it. It's funny what we do when we get impatient, when we find ourselves waiting, when we're struggling in that time of waiting. And as I said, it's foggy out today. It's real foggy. I mean, if you haven't been out yet today, give me a second here. I'm sorry about my hand. As I said, I normally don't do this. But if we look outside, it's a little bit clearer now, but it's been really foggy. You said it in the valley. You were not kidding. It's foggy. But you want to know what's not foggy? God's voice isn't foggy. It is never foggy. And He spoke. Through His Spirit, He spoke about the situation. How often do we find ourselves? How often do we find ourselves in a position of waiting? This guy really wanted to pass me. Really, really bad. He wanted to get around me really, really bad. And he did. But he was no further ahead and no further behind at the end of the whole thing. By the time we both got to where we would part ways, he was no further ahead and no further behind. And that's just interesting to me because so often we try to take shortcuts in life. We try to circumvent the path so that we can get to our destination quicker. And we read a passage in our reading plan just recently. We read a passage in our reading plan that's told us what happens when we do this, especially when we do it with God's plan. God has a plan, and His plan is good. And sometimes He calls us to wait. Sometimes He calls us to be patient. Actually, He calls us to be patient a lot, not just sometimes, a lot. God calls us to rest, to prepare, and to wait. Just like we read about Abraham and Sarah. They were called to wait for what God was going to do, for God to bring the blessing, for God to bring the great promise that He gave Abraham. They were called to wait. And so what did they do? Like the guy who did that weird turn, they tried to take matters into their own hands and cut part of the journey off. They tried to take matters into their own hands and cut part of the journey off. Sarah said, lay with my handmaiden Hagar. And Abraham did it, and he had a kid. He had a child. You think that would be a moment of monumentous praise, but no, it caused so much pain and strife in their family. It caused a whole world of issues that would be lasting issues in Israel for years to come. All because Abraham and Sarah thought they knew a better way. Patience is not a virtue for me. In fact, when that guy made that weird little right turn, U-turn, right turn at the light, right before he did that, I remember saying out loud, I'm by myself, by the way, there's no one else in the car, and I actually spoke this out loud. What is going on? Come on now, light. As if the light could hear me. As if it could know that I was frustrated and needed to change. Because I wanted to get where I needed to get. Patience is not one of my strong suits. And it's one of those things I need to be continually in prayer for. It's a gift of the Spirit, after all. It's a fruit of the Spirit. That's what I meant to say, after all. Patience is hard to come by in our culture where we're all about go, 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 be here, be here, be here, be here, be here. We flood our schedules with activities and stuff. And sometimes we just don't take time to just be patient and to wait. And I have a message in particular for my family of families that I believe God spoke. He has put us in a period of waiting, but that period is soon to be over. The promise that He has made is coming. The day is coming. I've actually, and I wouldn't do this, but I almost canceled my vacation a few weeks ago because I was feeling so sick, and I'm like, this is just be a bad trip to take. But then all of a sudden I'm feeling so much better. God has restored me physically, so we're going. But now I was just like, I'm so excited about what's coming when I get back, the next leg of the journey that God is going to be taking us on. I'm so excited about the end of this period of waiting and the beginning, the new beginning that God has for our church, that I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I want to be here. I want to see people's faces as each and every moment, each and every leg, each and every step we take as a family of families. The day is coming where we are truly going to not just be by name, but we're going to be God's family. And He is bringing revival, not just through us, but through the Church of Exeter. Not just the Church of God of Exeter, but through the Church of Exeter. Something big is coming. The period of patiently waiting for that revival is ending. God is on the move. Now, for everyone that may be watching individually, remember, God keeps His promises. Like Sarah and Abraham, we may get to a place where we may have doubt. We may be looking, God, why is there still a red light here? Come on now. Remember, Psalm 23 says, He makes me lie down in green pastures. It doesn't say, I can lie down in green pastures. No, it says, the Lord is my shepherd. He makes me. God gifts us with waiting. God gifts us with patience. God gifts us with rest. And we need those periods to prepare for the next leg of the journey. Don't miss out on your next leg by trying to take a shortcut. Now that my anxiety levels can come down, because, as I said, I am not comfortable just going off the cuff, no script, no nothing. But I really thought I needed to share that with you all today. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Full of His blessings. As I said, I don't do this enough. Hope to see you guys soon.